Hi guys, glad you could join me again as we discuss the big fluffy tyrannosaur known as Yutyrannus. Feathers on dinosaurs. Now these are a commonly known feature that are seen on many dinosaurs, but back in the day these were actually a topic of quite hot debate. It wasn't actually until feathers were found on a lot of different species that feathers on dinosaurs become more generally accepted. And one of these dinosaurs was Yutyrannus. With the name roughly translating to beautifully feathered tyrant, Yutyrannus was officially described in 2012 by Zhu Xing et al. After they found 3 nearly complete specimens of a juvenile, subadult and adult in the Yutyrannus Formation in China. Just like last time, I'm really sorry if I'm butchering these pronunciations. The namesake actually came from the fossilised feathers found to have been on a variety of places on the body. China really does have the monopoly on feathered dinosaurs, doesn't it? But what was this big death chicken actually like? Well, fully grown, a Yutyrannus would have been around 29 to 30 feet long, around 10 feet tall, and weighing in at around 1 to 1.4 tons. In terms of overall anatomy though, Yutyrannus superficially looked more like an allosaurid than a tyrannosaurid, with 3 four-limbed digits and a head crest similar to, say, Allosaurus. Again, these are superficial though. You'd actually be surprised at how many tyrannosaurs had head crests and 3-fingered claws. But of course, if we're talking about Yutyrannus, we want to talk about that fine looking coat. As said before, the distribution of fossilised feathers on known specimens seems to show that Yutyrannus was actually covered almost head to toe in filamentous feathers. Now, filamentous feathers are actually kind of different to what we would normally typically think of when we hear the word feather. Unlike pennaceous feathers, filamentous feathers lack the barbule, net-like structure on either side of the main stalk. This is seen commonly on baby birds, with filamentous feathers giving the animal a fluffy appearance. As to what purpose they served for Yutyrannus, well, we can speculate as long as the sky is blue. But the most likely explanation for this is that they served as a form of thermoregulation, given the relatively cold climate in this part of the world at the time, which is something I'll come into later in the video. Another explanation that's common for dinosaurs is that they could have served as some sort of display structure, whether that be for threatening or impressing the ladies. And of course, nothing is to say that these feathers didn't serve both functions. Whatever the function, Malicious Macklemore here is the largest dinosaur to date with direct evidence of feathers. With relation to its other tyrannosaurid cousins, Yutyrannus falls within the family Proceratosauridae, being closely related to Guanlong, Proceratosaurus and Sinotyrannus. Now, what about Yutyrannus' place within its ecosystem? Well, again, it was found in the Yutyrannus Formation in Jinzhou, China. These particular beds are Barremian to early Aptian, meaning they are early Cretaceous, around 126 to 124 million years ago. The difficulty we have with Yutyrannus though is that these bones weren't actually found in situ by the team that researched them. Instead, they were acquired by an independent fossil dealer who claimed they were found in a quarry in Batu Yingji. Now, I'm sure that this fossil dealer was a perfectly trustworthy guy, but taking the word of someone isn't exactly the scientific method. So Yutyrannus has been put down as likely coming from the Aptian age of this area. Now this highlights again the importance of finding fossils. Cece? I'm filming here. Can you stop thundering around upstairs? Now this again highlights the importance of finding these fossils in situ so that we can extract the full context of the find, which is actually a topic that I go into more detail about here. But for lack of better explanation, it has been cautiously assumed that the fossil dealer was correct and these fossils were found altogether within the Aptian rocks. This would mean that Yutyrannus lived in a wet, temperate rainforest, rich in kaiads and conifers, along with ferns, horsetails and primitive flowers. Dotted throughout these forests would have been freshwater lakes, rich with the usual life, and the land in general would have been similar to forests seen in British Columbia, Canada. Despite this, it was still prone to dry spells, and there is even some evidence of regular volcanism and forest fires. Fluctuations here, though, were still strangely common, especially for the Mesozoic, with freezing winters and annual mean temperatures at this time of around 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. These colder temperatures were due to China's high latitude at the time, and probably explains Yutyrannus' luscious plumage. This fluffy dino would have also shared this environment with Sinosauropteryx, Caudipteryx, Balong, Psittacosaurus, Tianuraptor, and Dongbetitan, the latter of which has been speculated to have been on the menu for Yutyrannus. And speaking of hunting, let's go back to those specimens being found allegedly together. Many have seen this as evidence for pack hunting, something definitely needed if you want to chow down on some massive sauropods. And there we have it. That is the summary of the softest, warmest, most cuddly dinosaur-related death you could ever experience. Until next time.